Hey, what's up, you guys? I wanted to come and talk with you guys about a certain segment of the presidential debate. Like, what America has come to with these two being our candidates, our representatives. Tragic, tragic. Like, all you could do is either cry or laugh. So, to quit from crying, I have been laughing my ass off at these degenerates that we have to choose from. Like, it just shows you the state of America at this point. Let's do better, get our children like together in the right place so that our children's children, our children, their children's children can have qualified, reasonable, respectable candidates to choose from for their leaders at their era of time. But anyway, we ain't got that. We ain't got that. Like, I'm like very scared for where the world is headed, let alone America in itself. Like, it's tragic. But anyway, during the presidential debate, Wallace asked President Trump to denounce. He's like, I want you to tell the white supremacist groups to stand down or whatever, denounce white supremacy. So this is actually what Trump did with being asked that. Where's my video? Oh, okay, here it is. And this is how this man responded. Trump, who did not denounce them. Like, he told them to be on standby, to chill out for right now, be on standby.
White supremacists and militia groups, and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw.
Right, he said ask them to stand down and not add to the violence.
Specifically
do it. I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Okay, he said you want to see peace.
You want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name.
So Trump asked him what you want to call him.
Would you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing. This is a left-wing problem.
Okay. So Wallace said, I want you to tell white supremacists to stand down and not add to the violence. President Trump therefore says, Proud Boys. He chose to call them Proud Boys, not white supremacists, not neo-Nazis, not hate groups. Proud Boys. And I think that the reason why he chose that choice word is because saying neo-Nazi and stuff like that singles a particular type of white out. Him using the term Proud Boys includes a much larger demographic. And the reason why that is because you have some white people who do not acknowledge themselves as being neo-Nazis or white supremacists and stuff like that. They identify themselves as being proud to be white, proud to be American, proud to be white American. So I think he chose the term Proud Boys to not exclude it to a certain demographic and to also not isolate them, basically. Like, to choose a nicer word, basically, than to call it what it is. So then he said to stand down, using the word that Wallace had given him. He said stand back, actually. Stand back, which means chill out. But then he said and stand by. The stand by is as if like something that you tell, like in a gang. It'd be like, hey, okay, so them boys over there acting up. Hey, let's chill out. Like, let's be cool, but stay ready. Make sure you got that thing on you when you ready. If stuff pop off, when I give you the green light, be there at attention. So I'm like, this freaking idiot. Like, are you serious? And then he deflected, right? And he went to, but Antifa is the problem. Who's going to do something about them? And that's cute for his Proud Boys to be like, okay, if the government or no one else is doing anything about this extreme radical leftist group, we are the ones who have to do that, which is why they are on standby if we can't get them under control diplomatically, or I don't know, the political route, I don't know. But anyway, that's how I picked that up. And I was just like, this dude, it was just distasteful, and it just pissed me off. And it was like, we ain't discussing Antifa right now. How about actually truly denounce them and tell them, hey, stand down, cut the shit out, do not add to more violence. You know, like, he didn't denounce them. So I go on Twitter, of course, because that's where we discuss everything as a nation. You know, like when we need to have a family meeting, we go to Twitter and we all talk. So I'm strolling through Twitter, and it was people in there making comments talking about he has denounced, he did denounce them. And then I'm like, you consider that to be a denouncement of radical hate groups, white supremacists, neo-Nazi? Because that is by no means was a denouncement of them. That was the, hey, okay, y'all, here, chill out while I'm trying to negotiate with them, but be ready just in case some shit pop off. That's what that was. But anyway, another person, though, has stated, like, well, he has in the past denounced these racist groups. And he had a collage, well, a compilation of different time periods throughout, I'd say maybe like the last 10 to 15 years of Trump actually addressing racist and white supremacists. So I had went to YouTube, because I'm like, well, let me go. And I couldn't find all of the videos that the young man referenced. But, oh, and he was a black man. People was coming on his head for that, because that was a black man who actually had put that compilation together of Trump actually denouncing white supremacists. So I'm going to tell you why I think he chose not to in last night debate, but had before in the past. And I found one, though, that just perfectly tied into it. But I'm going to play that one last because it's a little bit longer. And I'm going to play y'all this one first. After, right, that's the other thing. Now when I be on YouTube, because I ain't got YouTube Premium, every commercial is about Joe Biden and usually Joe Biden. Like, I don't like neither one of them fools. Both.
How many times? You know, it's
Okay, here we go.
with Twitter. I have 6 million, more than 6 million, and I have another 6
Now,
million
let's
with
just listen to it
Facebook. I
from
have like 13 or almost 14 million with Instagram. When I put out a minor message, everybody picks it up. Donald Trump just tweeted something very unimportant. Let me just explain. When I put out that I reject the KKK and David Duke, nobody picks it up. You know why they're not? Because they don't want to pick it up. They pick it up. You pick it up. Everyone else picks it up. You saw simultaneously, practically at the same time. They don't want to pick it up. Now, I have been asked this question so many times. I have rejected it so many times. In fact,
what do you think about Ryan saying that, though?
And this one, I believe, was from 2017.
I don't know. Well, don't forget, he's getting a lot of his information from you guys. So when I tweet about a rejection,
I got a lot of space.
almost right after that show ended, because maybe I wasn't clear or something. I mean, how many times do I have to say it? Don't forget, I told CNN when Chris Christie endorsed me, a very good endorsement, and one of the questions, that question was asked, and I rejected it there. That news conference was like a day before. So I said to myself, how many times do I have to reject or disavow?
Let me ask you this question. What about David Duke is saying to his supporters and followers, vote for Donald Trump. White supremacists are saying, vote. Do you want those votes?
No, I don't want them, and I don't want him to say it. I can't help if he says it. If he says it, but I don't want it, and if he says it, John, if he says it, he says it, okay? Do I want it? No.
And do I want the supporters?
No, I don't want anything.
What do you think of white supremacists, by the way?
I don't like any group of hate. Hate groups are not for me. But I've said this before. The press hates me to say it. They just don't want to pick it up.
You're thinking a little bit more about the general election. In December last year, you said...
So that's him saying that he has said it a million times. No one is choosing to acknowledge that or put that out. Because, like I said, when I seen it on Twitter, that was my first time ever hearing about it. Everything that I've seen is he's a racist, he supports racism and all of that kind of stuff. So when I seen that compilation, which some was way even before he even was running for president, of him denouncing hate groups, and he was like, as far back since I was 5, I had made the decision that I was against hate groups. I didn't play that part because I ain't got a lot of time, so let me play this next one. That really, really was a phenomenal speech. This made me look at this man differently. Once I had seen this one, and once I play it for y'all, then y'all won't understand what I mean.
Thank you.
I think it started like 1:40.
It took place over the weekend in Charlottesville, Virginia, to the horrific attack and violence that was witnessed by everyone. I just met with FBI Director Christopher.
No, come on.
Weekend's
I ain't
racist
got a lot of
violence.
time. Okay.
You will be American. And wounded 20 others. To anyone who acted criminally in this weekend's racist violence, you will be held fully accountable. Justice will be delivered.
So he telling white
As I said
supremacists,
on
neo-Nazi
Saturday,
groups, we're
we
going to hold you
condemn
to the fullest
in the strongest
extent of the law.
possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence. It has no place in America. And as I have said many times before, no matter the color of our skin, we all live under the same laws. We all salute the same great flag. And we are all made by the same Almighty God. We must love each other, show affection for each other, and unite together in condemnation of hatred, bigotry, and violence. We must rediscover the bonds of love and loyalty that bring us together as Americans. Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything
he said, y'all all
we
criminal
hold
and
dear
thugs,
as Americans.
and
We are a nation
prosecute you.
founded on the truth that all of us are created equal.
And he said that's what
We
the
are
truth
equal
is,
in the eyes of our
that men
Creator.
and women,
We are
black and
equal
white, are
under the
equal.
law, and we are equal under our Constitution.
So
Those
he
who
said we
spread
equal under
violence
God,
in the name of
Constitution,
bigotry
law. He wants us to
strike
have
at the
loyalty
very core
and love
of America.
together.
2 days ago, a young American woman, Heather Heyer, was tragically killed.
Okay, I
Her
think
death fills us with grief.
I think
We
that
send the
covers it.
family our
But
thoughts,
I seen this one and I was like, wow.
We
Like,
also mourn the two.
so that had me looking at that and looking at him like, okay, first off, that's total opposite of what you just did last night. It also had me looking at it like, okay, it's definitely an agenda, because if it wasn't for this one tweeter who put together that compilation, I would have never known that he has out his own mouth verbatim said, I denounce hate groups, I denounce you are criminal and thugs, neo-Nazis, KKK, white supremacists, and other hate groups. I'm not with it. We're going to prosecute you. We all are made by the one God, and we all is what's true and equal. And so that just had me like, wow, that even went past like pandering. That went past just saying, let me put out a statement condemning it. Like, to me, that level of content that he gave, saying like, no, I denounce you. I'm going to name 3 hate groups that I do know, and then I'm going to say in other ones, just in case I miss any. Y'all criminal, y'all thugs. We won't have that here. I'm going to bring you to justice. We're all one and equal. Y'all going against this Constitution by not being like that. And then he even went as far as to say, I want us to love each other and have affection and loyalty towards each other. So to me, that was monumental and a great speech. And I don't think it was just pandering or him just saying, here, I need to do this. I think that it is true from the heart. And one of the things that I was stating, and I've stated in other video, is this degrees and levels to racism, right? And I believe both these candidates have degrees and levels of racism. One has been a politician for his career and has a track record, though, which I'm talking about Joe Biden, of acting on his racism. He signed bills that went against blacks. He redlining, school to prison pipeline, harsher sentencing, all that kind of stuff. So Joe Biden, when I look back at his political track record, he has always voted against the best interests of blacks. And not only, like, he hasn't voted for the best interest of blacks, and he's literally has voted against the best interest of blacks, and that's evident in his track record. And then when I had looked at Trump, since he was not a political figure, his background has shown us as him just being a celebrity, and in Hollywood, is that right? He has black friends, black business partners, and seems to his degree of racism isn't to that extent, right? So then also looking at Twitter, I'll put it like this: his degree of racism more so like, I can work with you, I will employ you, I can give money with you, I can hang out and party with you, I have no problem with you being in a crib, I even be with a black woman, but I don't want a black person married into my family. I think that's Trump's level of racism, where Joe Biden's level of racism has shown me exactly how you think and feel about us. So, yes, I think that they're both racist. I think the reason why Trump's attitude would change from these 4 or 5 different occasions, which I know I didn't show y'all all those videos. Like I said, the other compilations that the man put together, I did not go and find all of those. I felt once I came across that second one where he gave that speech about the love and affection, unity, and all of that, I felt like that one by itself summed it all up. Like, I don't even need to show another one. But I think the reason why I would differ is because right now he's in a situation where he has pretty much everyone against him, right? Except these particular type of people who are proud white Americans, who are proud Americans, who are white supremacists, neo-Nazis and stuff, because they not all necessarily exactly the same. And I don't think that every person who is voting for Trump is a racist. Is a lot of people voting for him on issues that ain't got nothing to do with race. I even know some black people who are voting for him, and it has nothing to do with race. So you can't say that his entire base is racist. But anyway, I think the reason I feel he thinks that's all he has in his corner and that are going to help him and aid him due to the extreme attacks that he's facing from everyone else. So I think that that's why he does not want to isolate them at this point. I think that's why he feels he sees a bigger picture that we might not see, that isn't just about race, due to the fact that his base who are supporting him the hardest, which yes, a lot of them are white supremacists or proud boys, proud white Americans, are also fighting on his behalf against other whites who are against him. And this is what I also want y'all to know. Just because a person is Democrat, because them white liberal Americans who we think are fighting on our behalf ain't necessarily for us, and some are even more so a detriment because they wear a face that says that they're for us, but they're not. And key example of that, the Democratic Party, Joe Biden himself, who's a Democratic Party candidate, but his entire track record shows him voting racist, institutionalized systems against blacks, okay? And I probably just jumbled and missaid that, but y'all know exactly what the hell I mean. So don't come in my comments with that bullshit. He has shown that he is actually not for us at all, if you look at his track record. So I think that it goes deeper than just a race with why he needs their support and who is against him, because there's other whites who are against him who they are backing for. So I think that he looks at it like that, like I'm backed against the wall. These are literally the only people who are coming to my defense who are seeing through certain bullshit, because of course we know these parties play a whole lot of games with each other. We the citizens are the ones be stuck in the middle of their bullshit, of their back alley deals that they made to stuff their pockets with corporations and business. Like, it's a lot at stake. There's more than just race. There's a lot of money on the table, power on the table, and stuff like that. So with the coup that's going on, I think he looked at it like, well, these are the people who coming back to me and are supporting me, so I'm not going to just tell them, excuse me, to disappear. And that is the only thing that would explain why he, on several occasions in the past, has literally came out against them and said, no, I'm not with that. To why last night he would sit there and tell them, you're proud boys, sit down. Well, sit back but be ready, basically is what he said. Sit back but be ready. Proud boys, a lot more whites can identify with that. So I'm going to use that term. Even Americans, Southern Americans, black or white, consider themselves proud Americans, proud to be Americans and stuff. Veterans and of all different nationality, races. Like, you got Asians who came here, been here for decades. Some who were born here, who have served and stuff, and they consider themselves American, and they're proud to be American and fight for this country. So I think that's why he used the term Proud Boys, because his entire base is not racist. His entire base don't identify themselves or know that they are racist, and his entire base aren't supporting him due to racism. So he used the term Proud Boys. And he feels that's the only protection that he has right now. because that's the only reason why he would deflect and say Antifa. Go straight way and say Antifa, who's going to deal with them, who's going to put them in line, which is why he feel he need the Proud Boys in his corner and to just chill out on what y'all doing, but stand by, be ready. Anyway, it's still a big ass mess. Like, it's a big ass mess, y'all. Tell me what y'all think about him not denouncing racism last night, and what do y'all think about the clips that had came to my attention where he has clearly several times stated that he's not with the KKK, he's not with neo-Nazis, he's not with white supremacists and stuff like that, because I think there are people who are supporting him for much larger reasons than feeling like they want a white supremacist America. They want America back at is America was, and that's how many of y'all know because we ain't there no more, a global superpower. Our wealth is gone, believe it or not. We're in $1 trillion of debt to China, where we have everything made in China, where China has contaminated on several different occasions certain foods from ours, baby bottles, like it was all type of shit they was doing. This one came out over the years, shit that we was getting from China. They had to be recalled and stuff. And his whole thing is like, that's not only wealth leaving our country to them, that's also a homeland security issue as far as our protection being messed up. They just now this year sending seeds over here. Agriculture had to come and tell people they are anonymously sending seeds. People ain't ordered them or nothing. They're showing up on their doorsteps. Seeds from China that have to be in a certain climate, can come with different type of diseases, infections, stuff that we can't handle, aren't aware of. So they have to tell them like, don't plant those seeds, y'all. Don't do that and all that. And like I said, in the past, they did stuff to our dog food, contaminated all types of baby foods and stuff like that. So that's a health risk, and I'm with that. Yes, stop making our shit in China. Bring back those jobs. Stop making our shit in China. They could take us out in overnight if they wanted to with all the shit that we got made there. So even these, remember phones blowing up in people's pockets and in people's face? China makes our phones and cellular devices and stuff like that. So just think about how much intelligence they're spying on American citizens with, because we got everything made over there. So that's a security breach, as well as wealth leaving us. We shouldn't owe them shit. We got every fucking thing made there. Like, how much money do they need? So I'm with him like on stuff like that. So y'all just let me know y'all thoughts.